Since the discovery that dinosaurs once roamed the Earth several million years ago, they have continued to thrill scientists. The KPG mass extinction event that took place approximately 65 million years ago wasn't the first mass extinction event. It wasn't also the last, and it definitely was not the biggest mass extinction in the last 500 million years on Earth. Well, that is because it completely wiped out dinosaurs, or so it seemed until recently that several researchers have established that certain dinosaurs did in fact survive this mass extinction event. And fortunately, some still exist today. The Cretaceous-Paleogene KPG extinction, formerly referred to as Cretaceous Tertiary KT extinction, is said to have caused the extinction of about 75% of plants and animal species globally. Please note that the definition of the word extinction differs slightly according to the scientific perspective from which one considers it, even though they all mean the discontinued existence of a living organism. To a geneticist, it would refer to when a particular animal or plant gene is no longer transmitted. To a biologist, it would mean when the last surviving member of a species dies. To an ecologist, it would mean when a species' range becomes zero. Given these approaches from different various disciplines, it has been concluded that several fascinating animals did survive the KPG mass extinction while evolving new evolutionary forms different from the ones depicted in Jurassic World. We shall discuss more on that in this video. The Cretaceous-Paleogene KPG mass extinction took place between the Cretaceous period, often referred to as K, and the Paleogene period, hence KPG. To put an exact date to the boundary between these two periods, the extinction happened, as already mentioned, about 65 million years ago. So, 65 million years ago, about 75% of life on land, air, and in the waters globally died off. When you consider the hundreds of thousands of species of living organisms alive today, that should give you an idea of what 75% extinction must have looked like. Only the fittest and most adaptable of organisms survived, and thankfully, our mammalian ancestors were among the few survivors, including some other species of animals that continue to exist till today. We'll get to that soon, but before we discuss that, what could have caused such a great magnitude of mass extinction? Since the second half of the 20th century, scientists and researchers have continued to debate the possible causes of the KPG mass extinction event. There have been seemingly hilarious propositions such as caterpillars eating all the food available to our early ancestors, and/or mammals hunting and eating every dinosaur. Despite how destructive modern man might be to the ecosystem, it is somehow impossible and hilarious to imagine our crude mammalian ancestors facing off such huge beasts which are equipped with bristling teeth, sharp claws, towering height, and tons of pounds of pure muscles without the availability of modern weapons. Even if they miraculously managed to do that to every land-dwelling species, how did they hunt the ferocious marine reptiles and other aquatic species when there were no boats available? In the 1970s, a popular cause was championed by Dale Russell and Wallace Tucker, who in 1971 opined that an exploded star, a supernova, was responsible. But this was untestable, and the energy involved would have probably eliminated all living organisms, leaving none. Not until late 1970s and early 1980s did Walter Alvarez, a geologist, and Luis Alvarez, Walter's father and a Nobel Prize physicist, did team up to propose the Alvarez hypothesis, also known as asteroid hypothesis. They believed that based on geological findings at Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, an asteroid about 10 to 15 kilometers or 6 to 9 miles wide slammed into the same location, creating a 180 kilometer or 110 miles wide crater named Chicxulub, and producing about 1.8 times 10 to the 8th megatons of destructive power. It was believed that the resultant effect of this asteroid impact must have caused about a 10.1 magnitude earthquake instantly, sulfur and nitric acid rain later, 10 to 20% obstruction of the sun, CO2-induced global warming, and impact winter. However, some experts believe that the Maastrichtian regression, which was a global drop in sea level, and the Deccan Traps, which was a series of volcanic eruption in India, are two global disasters that had already weakened the ecosystem. Therefore, the asteroid impact was simply the final straw that broke the camel's back. As mentioned earlier, the Cretaceous-Paleogene KPG mass extinction wasn't the first, or the last, or the biggest. It is simply one of the Big Five mass extinctions to have devastated the Earth in the last 500 million years. The most devastating of these mass extinction events is the Permian-Triassic, also known as PTR mass extinction event. We have another video where the mass extinction events are described in detail, so to know more about the KPG event and others, you should check out the info box and find that video. With that out of the way, let's skip to the part where we tell you some of the animals that did somehow survive the KPG mass extinction event. Did you know that there were avian and non-avian species of dinosaurs before the extinction event of the Cretaceous-Paleogene? The dinosaur species you are probably familiar with are the non-avian species often depicted in Jurassic World and Jurassic Park. These include species such as Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, etc. The non-avian dinosaur species can easily be identified by their wingless form. The avian species of dinosaurs, which survived the KPG mass extinction, on the other hand, had wings, and paleontologists agree that birds generally belong to this category. Flamingos are also survivors. No wonder they are quite tall. Did you know that chickens and modern ducks are also descendants of the survivors of the KPG event? Other species include grebes, scarlet ibis, swifts, puffins, and the owl. The list of avian dinosaurs that survived is numerous, and many of these birds still exist till today. Modern birds that exist are descendants of feathered theropods. Avian dinosaurs were not the only animals to have survived this global extinction. There were several other notable families of animals to have survived, including crocodiles, which were able to survive due to their evolutionary adaptation to both aquatic and terrestrial habitats. Their cousin, alligators, is yet another survivor. Reptilians, often considered distant relatives of dinosaurs, such as snakes and lizards, also managed to scale through the KPG boundary. Surprisingly, amphibians such as frogs and salamanders seem to have suffered little or no loss during this mass extinction event, as almost all species survived. Another group of animals which broke the survival rate record of the KPG extinction event are turtles, with about 80% having survived. Last on the list, and obvious enough, are mammals, from which we all evolved. It is pertinent to note here that mammals also suffered great losses during this global KPG mass extinction event. There was the fallen kingdom of dinosaurs and the rising kingdom of mammals, of which primates eventually became the foremost. The KPG mass extinction that happened about 65 million years ago did have great devastating effects, which last up till today. Wouldn't it be cool to have the huge species of dinosaurs depicted in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World still roaming the Earth? It would be magnificent. But the question is, if their kingdom of the dinosaurs had not fallen 65 million years ago, would humans have risen to the top of the food chain? No one can say for sure, but we just might have something to be grateful for. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share, and comment.